forbid. Time forbid. Hello, life. How are we, brother? Time for bed. Sleepy, sleepy.
You're home for the holidays, back in your old room. Oh, at least you can get a deal on new shorts for Dad. Something with a little more coverage.
Ordinary and extraordinary. It's Martin Sweat. When that voice in your head whispers, kill you.
We all love to kick. We can't stop. It's the Absolute commercial.
The excellent one.
A mild to moderate eczema cream that will clear skin and fix the itch.
I like the kick. I see people kicking everywhere. Oh, he's gonna get that.
I don't know. That's kind of David Dobrik.
Oh, he loves David
I
Dobrik.
mean, he looks like
He
David.
does, doesn't he?
Airboy David.
No.
Airboy David.
Airboy David.
David Dobrik.
Oh, he's gotta get that one.
Oh my God.
He's gonna get both of these. He's gonna get both of these.
Okay, we might get into first.
You're gonna get both of them. Trust me. Trust me, you're gonna get both of them. Okay, this is Clint's.
I'm trying to think of his intro. Like, what's going on, bros?
Yeah. Okay, that's 3 points to Clint, 1 for me. But bro, you're gonna get this one. No way.
Yeah, I love it. By the way, if Brian does not get this one right, then
You
it's game over.
automatically win.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, you ready?
David Dobrik.
Let me hear it one more time.
David Dobrik.
Okay. This isn't my answer, but I thought you said like the Dobrik twins. But I think it's David Dobrik.
Yeah, David Dobrik. You scared me for a second.
David
3
Dobrik.
to 2. It all comes down to this final category. If I get it right, Clint gets it wrong, we go to a tiebreaker.
Okay. You know, I like that we're based with screens. We've been sticking to the screen stuff.
TV shows.
What's up, chat? Going to bed.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Hope everyone has a good night.
Small pills. Small pills.
Sneeze through SpongeBob.
Bro said SpongeBob.
I did say it.
Let's see though. Let's see.
Chat, like and subscribe if you're here, chat. Like and subscribe.
He's gonna make it out. I think he's gonna get that.
Okay.
See, I picked one that also, even if you botch it, like you're gonna just make out SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
I'll do one of my favorite cartoons, like growing up as a kid. Adventure Time.
I'm gonna try that thing. Don't believe it is.
Like you say the words and then
Kevin, what is
He's
that?
gonna make it out. I
Oh,
think he's
yeah.
gonna get that.
Okay.
See, I picked one that also, even if you botch it, like you're gonna just make out SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine.
Sneeze through SpongeBob.
Bro said SpongeBob.
I did say it.
Let's see though. Let's see. He's gonna make it out. I think he's gonna get that.
Okay.
See, I picked one that also, even if you botch it, like you're gonna just make out SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
I'll do one of my favorite cartoons, like growing up as a kid. Adventure Time.
The V's are scary. And the Oscar Snap.
No.
Adventure Time.
Oh, God.
Okay, these are good ones. Yeah, you guys gotta try this with your friends. This is actually hilarious. Dude, oh! Okay, Clint, hold on. So, I want you to play mine first, because if he gets that... then
Guys,
it's
give me the
time.
500 subscribers. Come on, guys. Come on,
So
chat.
this is TV
500
shows.
subscribers. I'm at 222 right now.
Oh.
500 subscribers, guys.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay, he's
Hundo.
gotta get this wrong in order for us to go to a tiebreaker. If not, you win. And
Come
you
on,
get that extra
guys.
minute.
Come on, Charlie.
Like and
please
subscribe.
use your, There's no favors being cast.
Thank you. Okay, here we go.
Let me hear it one more time. Okay, I think you're saying SquarePants at the end, so I'm gonna say SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes, Charlie. I shouldn't have picked the most iconic TV show of all time.
Dude, thank you, Charlie Bryan.
That was fun, I'm not gonna lie. That was hilarious. A minute to look for stars. Clint, you have 2 minutes, and then we reveal who has the most stars and takes home that pot. Let's go. Okay, Clint, I got 1 minute on my phone.
I got 2 on mine.
Okay, are you
right.
ready? Hold on. Let me get comfortable here. I only have 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna go straight downstairs. He's gonna look me upstairs while Will's going on. I'm going downstairs. Oh, where am I? Oh my god, I'm wasting so much time. Was there... Dude, what the heck? I'm doing so bad.
The Clint done freaking found like freaking thing, bro. 4.
No!
Oh my god, Brian's time is done. Brian's time is done. Oh, okay, I gotta find more. Oh, we got like 40 seconds.
Bro, you done.
It felt so much.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes.
Wait, this is all right now?
Yeah.
What? All right now?
This is all right now.
How much time do you got left?
10 seconds. I'm just gonna end it.
Oh my gosh, wait, you found that all right now?
I'm just gonna end it. I think we're good.
I think I'm cooked.
Pretty crazy. So we're counting them out to see who won at the end.
Guys, it's not looking too hot for me. I'll be honest, I think I lost. I
You
got
lost tremendously.
25 stars.
25. Okay, before I even keep going on.
You already won.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Training stars!
Dang, you won by that
I
much?
think you knew.
I knew once that board went in there.
100%
That was
you knew.
Como. After that Mew skateboard went into the pod, you walked in.
And not just that, the meta glasses that I wanted to give to my niece.
The
They're in there.
Boo the Kobe's. Let's go by the Kobe's. Let's go by the box. Come on. All right, guys. So Clint is walking away with everything in the pot, including his 2 items that he actually found. So Clint, GG's, congratulations.
Dude, let's see what you got.
I got my pair brick. Let's go.
Not gonna lie though, that is a classic Flintstones Dino Bear Brick, and I would have had that too if I didn't give you a hint.
Hey, I was pretty much 0 for 5 if you didn't give me that hint. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to drop a like. Shout out to my boy Clint.
Hey, and shout out to Run, who's going to walk away with this Mew skateboard.
Shut up.
Dude,
What? Are you serious?
because I love you, because you've given me 2 boards in the past, I've won a Charmeleon and a War Portal. I love Mew, and I wanted this so bad.
Keep it. You want it fair and square.
I want you to have it because I want you to add to your Pokemon collection. I want Brian to keep loving Pokemon as much as I do. This made us like connect.
So much more. Clint, are you sure?
Dude, I love this for you.
Thank you so much, Clint. I appreciate that. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you drop a like, hit that subscribe button. We love you guys so much, and thank you for all of your continued support. Hope you guys...
vacation rental, if it's not listed on Booking.com, it's invisible to millions of travelers on our platform who can't book what they can't see. Your king-size bed, invisible. Your pool, invisible. And your hot tub, that new chaise lounge, and your hammock. Don't let your vacation rental be invisible. List on Booking.com, get seen, get booked. On Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
Late in the night on April 7th, 2024, officers from the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department in Tennessee patrolled Broadway, the infamous neon-illuminated strip of live music bars. Without warning, a chair slammed onto the ground next to them, leaving the officers just feet from serious injury. They immediately turned their body cameras on and suspected the chair had plummeted from the 6th floor roof of Chief's Bar, which was only open for its third night.
Upstairs. Came off with the Chiefs. You know what time here? Okay, don't forget it. That could have been bad. The rooftop, yeah. No, we saw the chair and one of the girls saw it. No, it passed the car. So as far as I know, yeah, nothing is there. Trying to get the guy down, but okay. They might need you to go up there. Okay, did they find him? Yeah, he's upstairs. Okay. You don't see anybody throw anything? You don't have witnesses you're accusing. I get that, but he didn't throw nothing. He didn't throw nothing. I'm his bodyguard. Okay. I don't know. What happened? I don't know. You don't know? Hold on. Okay. I didn't see him throw nothing. We weren't doing nothing up there. He's got nothing on him. I didn't see nothing. He's being aggressive and so is that one. I promise you. Upstairs. You do anything wrong? Yeah, he's up there. Yep, you can go check. Stay right here. You're not leaving yet. You're not free to go. We're investigating the situation, okay? Watch him. I'll go on the camera. Let's go. We had one of the supervisors respond. What's your name, man? Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen? Okay, one of them. Officer Trace, Metro Police. I'm recording my body camera. Officer Trace. Trace? Yeah. Nice to meet you. You as well. Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you, man. I don't really know a whole lot of celebrities and stuff.
That's Morgan Wallen.
Okay, I was about to say. Okay.
That's Morgan Wallen.
Okay, all right.
And everybody was afraid to say that it was him.
Okay.
Because no one wanted to, like...
Correct.
Morgan Wallen is not just one of today's biggest country stars. As recent as October 2025, he's listed as the #1 artist across all music genres according to the Billboard Hot 100, a title he first claimed back in 2021.
Where are we? I should be for it. No, I just want to make sure it's Morgan Wallen. The guys are outside. He's got his bodyguards with him. Security staff were trying to pull up a video to see if he actually should have seen doing it, but the witnesses that were up on the rooftop saw him chuck it. So that's why I'm asking for a supervisor. Hey, now, boys, man, tonight. Good. Hey, you got any Copenhagen? Yeah, I'll take that.
In the back.
No problem, man. I don't know why. Well, a chair came flying off the roof and landed right next to my patrol car over there. We're just trying to figure out what happened. As you should. Yeah, the red shirt has face box. Very slush mouth. All right, are they all three the same? Where y'all boys from? Oh, we all live here. Nashville area. Me too. Where are you from originally, though? California. Why'd you move here? I moved here for a job. This is your bodyguard? Yeah, that's right. Man, we're in the middle of something right now.
Okay, no, you're good.
Stay back, thank you.
Oh my god. Yeah, like, basic.
How's everything been going there? Good so far. I'm gonna get behind your bike cam. Why's that? I was trying to talk to you. Well, the nature of our business, we usually don't
I tried to talk to you.
My bad. It wasn't like that. I know. I'm just letting you know that's why I've reacted the way I have. minutes out.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, well, you guys somewhere to be now.
Eric Church, another famous country artist, is also part owner of Chief's Bar. Chief is his nickname and the title of his most successful album. It is reportedly taken from his grandfather, who was a police chief in Granite Falls, North Carolina. Ironically, for this situation, the bar itself is a nod to the force.
Country singer, Morgan Wallen. I don't know. Would you guys possibly disconnect just because of who's upstairs? No, it's always going to be raining. Okay.
We didn't even know he was up there, to be honest.
Okay.
So this is kind of weird that it's not.
Hi, Eric. Boston Trees. Well, we're investigating something right now. The sheriff came off the roof of Chief's Bar. That's what we're into the bottom of it now.
Fuck, am I call Eric Church?
We're just investigating it.
I go, want to go back a little bit?
Move. Move.
Thank you. Sorry to cause problems. It's all good, man. I didn't mean to. Is this Eric Church's bar? Okay. I was a little confused on why I was talking to him. Investigation or that's the other officers inside reviewing security camera footage. So.
I mean, someone's through a chair.
Yeah.
I believe this is Morgan Wallen right here in the green.
Yeah, we have had more than one person.
Here's my for a chair,
Looks like him. Whoever was the guy with him identified himself as his bodyguard. So I don't know. I don't know if I've told you already, but this interaction's audio and video recorded. We just have to tell everybody. We kind of learned from all this. I didn't see him do that. It's been a long time. I've never seen anything like that. Were you in the military? I was. Okay. I was too. I jacket. Didn't recognize him. There's a little bit of something through your hair. Get it off. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Where you from? I'm from here. Here? About an hour south of here. Franklin County, Tennessee. So security was telling us that it was Mr. Morgan Wallen. Let me follow me. The camera footage. See if it was it. Sergeant Olive. Hey, Morgan Wallen. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you as well. Give me 2 seconds. Okay.
I'm more than one.
Though the bar just down the street isn't technically owned by Morgan, it uses his likeness to advertise. Morgan himself explains that here.
My bar's going up down here. Yeah, over there on 4th. Yeah, it's almost 40,000 square feet. A lot alone was expensive. Like $8 million? Yeah, well, they just paid me for my name, you know. Yeah.
His actions from this incident, along with his use of a racial slur and other legal incidents we will cover later, led to a council vote denying the bar a sign displaying Morgan's name.
Is that through a TC group?
You down there?
Yeah, I know some
Yeah, I'm
people.
sitting up there.
Oh, I think they have one of the best security groups that we got, honestly.
I was talking to my lawyer. I was like, hey, man, you saw that Raleigh guy?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, hey, we got to make sure that that does not happen at our bar.
Morgan is almost certainly referring to Riley Strain, the 22-year-old who was out drinking with friends in Nashville when he was kicked out of a bar. He went missing, and after a 2-week search was ultimately found in the Cumberland River. His death was ruled an accident of intoxication and drowning.
I'm going to get him to bring our own security in. He's taken care of me for years. What made you be a cop?
It's always a passion of mine. When they say it's calling, it's really a calling.
That's the same thing I feel about music.
Well, we're pretty good at it.
Thank you.
I think you should keep going.
God's been good to me.
Yeah, definitely.
This is their story. And then they both gave statements to the other officer. They got their names. Okay.
What did they say?
They saw him that was standing to the right of them. Saw him pick up the chair, throw it overhead, and then laughed about it after.
It's like back here? Oh, okay. Hold on.
What team logo is that on your shirt?
The Braves. This is their alternate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're your favorite team.
I don't really watch baseball. It'd be Braves.
Same.
What kind of boots you got on?
Double D range.
Nice.
It's some people from out of Florida. Okay. I'm not trying to cause no problems.
No, I got you, man. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure of what's going on. Just know something was thrown from the rooftop. Sergeant's investigating it now. So, once we disprove it, we'll get you out of here. I appreciate you being cool with us, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
No, it's just lagging.
We just Wi-Fi.
How many guys usually out with you at night?
Two. Those two guys over there. You met them?
Oh, no.
Hey, Hawk. What's your name?
Officer Lopez.
Lopez. Hey, Hawk. Hey, what's a good dude right here, man?
Awesome. I'll get that information.
Yeah, and that's John. He used to take care of Obama, unfortunately.
I'm saying, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a blue one. White slides.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there you go. Just checked it. All right.
Yep.
We'll get that information to figure out as far as preserving that. Okay. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
The video was not released by MNPD, and it is unclear if the department obtained it after this night. Reports indicate a bar manager refused to release the footage to news outlets at the time. Later on, an officer gives his insight to the footage.
There's a little bunch of season watching from the area and watching flying, so that's what I guess. That's where the crowd centers to go. That's how it's working. Yeah, that's where they got. That's enough. Yeah. That's a whole lot better. This is pretty good. I'm sorry to bring you any problem. I'm from the Gulf. I am. I'm sorry. We don't feel good. I know. I respect you. I'm excited about that. It's just about being here.
All right, sir. I'm sorry. I'll be on the national police department. Unless you have coverage, I'll be all in the airport. Yes, sir. So, just walk there. If you're on a chair, I'll plan anything to the traffic. All right.
What matters most to you matters most to us. Ameriprise Financial.
We quilt this city, rock and roll.
Hello? Hello? I'm your child and I'm in prison. Why are you scared?
What happened? He's under arrest.
I have my wallet.
What you wanted?
We're gonna take it. so we can just try to get as little people as possible. I'll be happy to keep all that out here. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're taking this.
As a courtesy, officers backed their cruiser into the alley to keep Morgan out of sight.
Do you turn on your front-facing floodlights?
You're gonna fucking hear about it anyway. It's fucking forever, bullshit. Yeah. When he left.
He's on his way, Morgan. Okay, I'll meet you down there.
Transport, sir. Okay.
This is his property.
Okay. Appreciate it. I know, man.
I know that. I ain't done nothing wrong. You got his ID or info?
I don't have his ID.
You got nothing wrong, bro.
Have his ID on you, I do. Let him have that, please. My birthday? Thanks, sir. You taking it with you? Yeah, it's gonna go on the property. Security camera, yeah, it's wall and all that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Anything specific that we need to know for the CSO? Eligible company, just a regular person, bringing it in, along with everybody.
Yeah, Mr. Wall, I'm gonna try to get you out of here as quickly as possible so we don't get all the crowd. Booking's right down the road. Once we get there, I'll handle your cuffs if you're all right with that, okay? All right. They don't like that stuff. Oh, man. Alright, just give me a minute. Once this car goes. If you want to lean over, or just look away. Alright, we're going.
Lay down. Said that. When you got in the road, they don't know.
I don't think so. But I really wouldn't be able to tell you, man.
I'm trying to make that automatic.
Right.
That's my...
Or just look away. Alright, we're going. Give me 1 minute. I don't think so.
When you keep fucking acting stupid,
really
yeah?
wouldn't be able to tell you, man.
I'm trying to make that automatic.
Right.
That's my...
Yeah, man. So booking's about.
So.
Once we can. Alright, what's your middle name? You're definitely in my system. I don't know what for, but you're in there.
Reports indicate Morgan has been arrested multiple times in Nashville. In 2016, he was arrested for driving under the influence. Those records have been expunged. In May of 2020, during the height of COVID, he was arrested for disorderly conduct outside of Kid Rock's Honky Tonk after allegedly harassing patrons, refusing to obey commands by police officers, and reportedly kicking glass objects. That case was dismissed.
Oh, doing the most in the road, yo.
I appreciate it, man.
Morgan Wallen, yo.
Yes, sir.
Morgan Wallen.
Definitely not that. Definitely not.
This is me and Tom Stewart. Turn it up. That's me and TR.
You can send me a call. I'll do what you need.
That's me right there.
Bruh.
Me and TR.
I'll tell you something funny, that every song that you hear is going to be you, because I had a playlist going.
And then niggas rock. Sounds great.
Yeah. We're trying to get it situated with booking so that we can try to get you somewhere where you're not in the public eye.
Don't say him.
I'll tell you right.
Go ahead with yours.
Me.
It is okay. Top 3 right now. You're honestly one of them. Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
And then Josh Turner.
I don't want
I've
you
been
to
listening to a lot of Josh Turner here lately.
When I was 7.
Please do not play Chris Young on this one.
You don't like Chris Young, bro? What?
I do like Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy. He's not looking at Hardy's even anything.
Step out. If you want to face your wrist inward, maybe a little bit more comfortable. So like.
You don't like Chris Young, bro?
Do it the other way because they'll start working this way. So
Wow, like that, what?
like this. Like this. So butterfly.
Yeah. Just put your hand.
Like this. So if you put your hand there. So palm to palm. Just like this.
Palm to palm.
Hey.
Palm to palm to palm.
The more you twist them, the more it's going to dig in.
I want to eat
No, I know. I'm just
He's
letting
trying to
you
throw
know.
home the fuck out of it.
That's what happens.
Hey, it means y'all. Turn it up a bit, boy.
We'll just put your sides to anybody else watching or anything like that, so we'll try to minimize the exposure as much as we can. So if you want to slide back in, no worries, it's all good. Just straight in, just like that. Just a sec, I'll let you know in a sec. So just slide all the way back as far as you can, so you're not sitting on your wrist. There you go.
You say you have been arrested here before?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
You are so cute.
Give me just a sec, I'll let you know in a sec.
This after officers spend minutes loosening his cuffs. That's all that says.
So just slide all the way back as far as you can, so you're not sitting on your wrist, and then just hang tight. There you go.
You say you have been arrested here before? There's your picture if you want to see it. Last time. Yeah, they'll probably take an updated picture. I'll try to. You have to ask the DCSO guys. I actually do try to help you out. Maybe the first arrested Chiefs. You good? I want to have one of these, honestly. You know how I've been. I'm going to try to get him a lot of use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
If you want to.
He'll let you out to go use the restroom. Okay.
Just say hello. Oh, you're drunk as shit, though.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these handcuffs off of you. Go with me.
Okay, see. Right here. Put him on the front.
What? You want to mess with your hair? Yeah. And then, just bring it back to him when you're done. Alright.
Oh, my heck.
Property. Hey, what's up? We'll take another seat. Just enough time for us to get this done. We'll go. Alright.
Whenever you're ready, we'll try to see, make sure there's nobody else will limit the amount of exposure, and then we'll bring it in.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the briefs and officers. Sure. We're good. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I think it happens to everybody.
I'm going to talk to you.
The likeliness to recommit, reasonable likelihood offense will continue. Just for the paperwork.
Yeah, I believe that.
Gotcha.
Go get disorderly, one reckless, and then add 2 more.
Add 2 more?
Yeah. Total of 4 charges going to be on there.
Really?
Yeah, we choose on that right lane, but that's how it was. I want to get me disorderly.
Alrighty.
I just go.
Really? Yeah. Alright. I'll tell you what's going on, man. I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. I didn't witness anything. As of right now, that's what they're telling me.
You'll get this shit, bro. You got money.
Nah, I read like bring it back, you never found it.
Yeah, once I finish this, man, I can take you. Because, well, I'll be straight up with you. That's.
Don't answer.
Don't answer.
I'll read you the narrative once I get done.
I don't want to hear it all. Give me the cliff note. Is it the truth?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep.
There's no aggressive though,
No, nothing aggressive. So you're getting disorderly conduct as they created a hazardous condition. So where it landed, you're getting 2 counts of reckless endangerment for both the officers and then 1 for the general public.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm not sure that's true.
The way it goes, so it's all legal because it's a person important and they were on. So they were on this. Yeah. Gotcha.
Being a fuck.
They got someone in there right now, so to minimize the amount of people that you interacted with, try to get them through.
Then I gotta push again then?
God damn.
Somebody worse than me?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you, man. I have no idea. You good, boss?
Yeah, I got another plate right here.
Right.
I'm trying to wash my hands off. Ain't got no plate right here.
No. Throw these back on you.
You gonna walk me in?
Yeah, we're gonna go through. Yeah.
I'll get it to him.
Yeah, he doesn't want it on.
I figured they didn't want it on my name, my mugshot, right?
Yeah, but they'll let you.
Will they let me work?
Ask. Yeah.
If they will, then I'll work. Give me the goods in my brain.
Before we go in, you got anything on you?
That's okay. You already got my knife off of me, right? Yeah. That's right. That's just let me try.
It's my hand, man.
Oh, yeah.
Take a temperature.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember your last that I was there since I remember you too?
I remember.
Okay, so we were at HC, there was a little tiny hole where we had to talk to each other. You stuck your whole face in it, and I was poking you in the forehead. I said, "Get back, you're drunk." Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, so, and the funniest part was, I didn't even know who you were. Everybody else did, so that made it even funnier because it was your haircut. And I said,
Oh, yeah.
I said,
Oh, yeah.
the
I didn't
90s,
pick up my cousin.
I said, the 90s called him once. They want your haircut back.
My cousin next day, you were like, is that your blue right there? He's like, yeah.
You're so smart, and I didn't know who you were.
Y'all have fun.
A $15,250 bond was set, and reports indicate Morgan was released from jail roughly 3 hours later. He was charged with 3 felony counts of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon and 1 misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. Tennessee law lists Class E felony sentences at a minimum of 1 year in prison. Serious charges that could heavily affect his music career. 8 months later, in December of 2024, Morgan made a plea deal and was found guilty on what appears to be 2 reduced misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. All other charges were dropped. He was ordered to spend 7 days at a DUI education center and was given 2 years of probation. His fines amounted to $350 plus court fees. When his sentence is complete, his charges are set to be expunged from the record. Shortly after his plea agreement, the Nashville Metro Council approved his bar sign proposal, adding to the list of neon signs that illuminate the strip. Since this incident, Morgan has stayed out of legal trouble, assuming his probation began at days at a DUI education center and was given 2 years of probation. His fines amounted to $350 plus court fees. When his sentence is complete, his charges are set to be expunged from the record. Shortly after his plea agreement, the Nashville Metro Council approved his bar sign proposal, adding to the list of neon signs that illuminate the strip. Since this incident, Morgan has stayed out of legal trouble. Assuming his probation began at sentencing, it will end in December of 2026.
Oh shit.
Don't let your vacation run out and your
That's why he's out of fucking trouble, because he's looking at 2 years in jail. Then he won't be able to see his son. I think if it wasn't for his son, I think he'd be cutting up. I think it's just in him. He's just young and he don't care.
No, not like that.
I have a message for you, Mr. Reed Zars, Dr. Brian Monk, and everyone else at UPHB. You crossed a line you can't uncross. You wrongfully stole my freedom and tarnished my good name. And now, I will pursue accountability in every form until this can never happen to anyone else. Because even though I'm vindicated, I'm nowhere near done.
Breaking news from Utah. Heavy D. Sparks, widely known for the Discovery Channel series Diesel Brothers, was arrested Tuesday morning in Salt Lake City. According to Cool Records, Sparks was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals.
friends, it's time to set the record straight once and for all. Yes, I was arrested and just spent 3 days locked up in solitary confinement at a maximum security wing of the Salt Lake County Jail. But this wasn't criminal. I wasn't even charged with a crime, and I didn't do anything illegal. For several years, I've kept fairly quiet about our lawsuit with a group of environmentalist doctors that started way back in January of 2017, because I've been respecting the court process and just kept my head down, doing my part to get this resolved. The group suing me, they finally crossed the line. And it's time for me to speak out after almost 9 years of being damn near silent on this matter. One thing that we're going to do throughout this video is provide receipts. I don't want you guys to just sit here and listen to me talk and have to take my word. Near silent on this matter. One thing that we're going to do throughout this video, back in January of 2017, because I've been respecting the court process and just kept my head down, doing my part to get this resolved. The group suing me, they finally crossed the line. And it's time for me to speak out after almost 9 years of being damn near silent on this matter. One thing that we're going to do throughout this video is provide receipts. I don't want you guys to just sit here and listen to me talk and have to take my word for it. Instead, what I decided to do is throw up screenshots, court documents, basically anything that you can see and reference to understand that what I'm telling you actually happened. I'm kind of pulling back the curtain and giving you everything so there's no doubt as to whether or not this really happened. Guys, real quick, before we get further into the story, because it's a hell of a story, it's going to take a minute, I want to acknowledge something that I promised you a couple months back. I told you near the end of July that we were having a huge liquidation sale so that I can make room for new projects, new ventures. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to make those announcements just yet because of the things that have been happening, including some I'm about to share with you in this video. But I want to let you know that I haven't forgotten about you, and I fully intend to follow through with making those huge, awesome, and exciting announcements that are huge, changes for me. They're big steps, big advancements in my career, and they're going to change everything about what I do. So I want you to know that I'm not ignoring it, I'm not avoiding it. It's something that I'm really anxious and excited to talk to you about. I just have to wait for the time to be right, and I believe that time is coming very soon once we get this whole legal issue put to bed. Now, let's get back to this absolute chaotic mess of a lawsuit that we've been dealing with for almost 9 years. Alright, so I just got released from Salt Lake County Jail, which just so happens to be one of the top 5 safest jails in the world, which also means is one of the top 5 most secure. Now, in order to keep me safe in there and to keep me away from a population of people who may just want to be friends or fans or potentially do harm to me, they had to put me in protective custody. That means that I was in solitary confinement, locked in a cell all by myself with the opportunity to get out for 1 hour every other day. I'm telling you right now, that was the most miserable experience of my life. And I'm also going to tell you that to those of you, a few of you who've actually done real jail or prison time, whether it be days, weeks, months, or even years, I've got a whole level of respect for you. 2 days is nothing compared to what some of you have been through, but it was more than I ever care to experience again. Now let me tell you guys about the week that I was having. On Monday, I was in Washington, D.C. to speak at a conference. On Tuesday, I was scheduled to be at the One Utah Summit. Now, what the One Utah Summit is, it's a giant conference with the state of Utah where state leaders and agencies and all sorts of people get together and figure out a way that obviously make the state better. They invited me to come speak on the topic of how private organizations can work hand in hand with state and local agencies to be able to do good for the public, aka search and rescue, cleaning up public lands, all the stuff that we love to do for our state. I was not getting paid to speak at this event. It wasn't convenient for my schedule. Like I said, I'd be traveling all week. On Wednesday, I was scheduled to be in Kentucky doing an appearance for Hitachi at the Utility Expo. On Thursday, I was scheduled to be back home. Well, after getting home from Washington, D.C. on Monday night, I got a few hours of sleep, and I was up again the next morning on Tuesday at 4 a.m. to head down to the airport to jump on a flight to Southern Utah for the Utah conference. Well, as soon as we got to the airport, rolled in, jumped out of the car, getting ready to go board the jet, suddenly, out of nowhere, 3 or 4 trucks full of U.S. Marshals come rolling in, lights on, guns drawn, and fully prepared to take me into custody. And honestly, at first, I thought it was a joke. I thought I was getting punched because it's happened before. We have a lot of friends in law enforcement, and they sometimes do that. They roll up on their lights, and they play a joke on us, And so I was laughing until they came up and handcuffed me. They threw me in the back of their truck and they drove me to the Salt Lake County jail. And the entire time on our way to the jail, they were apologizing. They felt terrible. They knew that me getting arrested was the most absurd thing possible because they know I'm not a criminal and they know I didn't break any laws. And that was a common theme throughout my entire experience in jail, from the guards to the management to the staff to the other inmates. Everyone knows my story. They all know that I'm far from a criminal and I did not deserve to be locked up in chains and shackles and thrown into a cell by myself with some of the worst of the worst.
By yourself in the segment,
You see, this was a civil case, one that's been dragging on for almost 9 years. And yesterday, before we all left a hearing, the judge himself told everyone this should have never happened. I walked in with wrist and ankle cuffs and walked out vindicated. But this story goes way beyond me, because what's happening here exposes a broken system that can be used to punish people even when they've done almost everything right. This is no attack on the judge or the court, who I actually believe is a brilliant and well-reasoned man that does his best with the information presented to him. That's the problem. This is a story about bad actors, the UPHE and its lawyers, and bad law. Now let's go to the beginning. This all started back in 2017 when I and a handful of my companies got sued by a group called Utah Physicians for Healthy Environment, or UPHE. So you need to understand that the UPHE is made up of a bunch of doctors who are also activists and environmentalists. The group is led by a doctor named Brian Monk. He is a very passionate man about the environment, and he is constantly out at rallies and protests and different events. On one hand, I can respect he wants the environment to be better and cleaner, just like all of us. But on the other hand, unfortunately, I cannot respect the way that he's gone about trying to enforce this. The way they do this is they use an attorney. And they use the same attorney, or at least they have for a very long time, named Reed Zars from Laramie, Wyoming. Reed's Reed. That's all I can say about it. Reed doesn't like me very much, and we've had just a real wild relationship over the past 9 years, as he's been trying really hard to basically destroy my life. Now, you need to understand that Reed essentially built this lawsuit off of social media. He would sit there and watch social media, he would watch our TV show Diesel Brothers, and pretty much anywhere else that he could find me, and he would basically take what he found there and use it in his court case against me. Years ago, I put up a picture of a really cool house that I liked. It wasn't mine, didn't own it, had nothing to do with it. On the stand, he said, "Whose house is this? Where'd you get the money to pay for it? And how come we didn't know about it?" And I was like, "It's not mine. It's just a post that I made." And that was a common theme throughout this whole lawsuit. So one of the funniest stories along this whole journey was when Reed decided that I post on Facebook, so I must get paid by Facebook. And he wanted to get access to that money that they were paying me, which they weren't. And so he called Meta and basically said, "Hey, I'm an attorney. I want to garnish this account. You can just send all this money to me." And they're like, "Sir, no. Like, first of all, that's not how this works. Second of all, he's not in our system. Third of all, we're not paying him. Fourth of all, we can't give you any more information." He took a trip down to Meta headquarters, and in a court filing, which I'll show you proof of right here, he documents exactly what he did on this trip. He went to Meta. He tried to get in, knock on all the doors were all locked. So in this court briefing explaining his trip, he says, "I waited around outside, couldn't get in, and then I strategically timed my entrance into the building at the same time as the exit of an employee, aka he snuck in. Somebody opened the door and he found his way in. Went to the front desk and said, 'I'm here to collect Dave Sparks' money. I need you to provide me with all this information,' blah, blah, blah." And they were like, "Sir, no." And even if I was in their system getting paid, that's not how it works. They weren't going to do it. No. And then he goes in, further into this brief, and he says, "It was at that point that I was then escorted out of the facility by 3 security guards, but not before Facebook offered him an opportunity." I really wish he could have done this, or I wish I had the picture, but they offered him the opportunity to take a selfie in front of the Facebook sign. He included all of this in his court brief that he submitted, basically to be used against me. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because, remember how I told you that he was doing all sorts of stuff along the way to try to get at me and basically running the billing clock at the same time, so all of his efforts I was paying for. So I paid for, or was billed for, Reed going to Meta headquarters, sneaking in, trying to basically extort them for money that they don't pay me, and was then escorted out of the facility. And I don't know if he ever took the selfie, but if he did, honestly, I would have been tempted to be way more cooperative with his extortion if he would have just filmed his whole journey to Meta that, because that honestly is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And that's honestly probably just about the only funny part of this whole story. The rest of it sucks. When they sued us back in January 2017, their first demand right out the gate was stop doing the deletes, stop doing the videos, stop doing anything that's hurting the environment. And we said, okay, we already pretty much are complying with all that even before you did this lawsuit. So great, we're good with that. And then they said, give us $1 and we'll go away up front for a lawsuit for activities that we were no longer even doing. I thought this was about compliance. I thought this was about making the environment better. How does me paying dollars to an out-of-state attorney make Utah's environment any better? I'll give you a hint, it doesn't. It wasn't just me that they sued. In fact, they've been doing this for several years. And the list that's publicly available online is well over 20 different people and entities. And realistically, it's way longer than that once you start digging into court records and different things like that. And the craziest part to me is the fact that after they sued me, they followed along and saw the different partners and sponsors and companies that I worked with, and they sued them as well. They sued me under the Clean Air Act, claiming that around 20 trucks and a few aftermarket parts we sold years earlier violated emissions laws. They alleged that those trucks caused more than $114 million in environmental damage under just the Utah law. You see, the problem with that is that's almost $5 million per truck, most of which were low use, show vehicles, off-road vehicles, competition use, and to make sure the world knew about it, they launched a massive media blitz before I even had a chance to respond to the initial lawsuit. Within 24 hours, headlines were everywhere, national, international, local. They plastered my name, my face, my company all over the news and social media. They even used random clips from the internet of people blowing black smoke, footage that had nothing to do with me or my team, but they used it to make us look reckless. That one media stunt has followed me for years and cost us countless business opportunities and partnerships. And the truth is, that was just the beginning. Keep in mind, this is not the EPA bringing the case. In fact, the EPA declined to take this case because it was so small, it wasn't a priority for them. I have a great relationship with the EPA. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, I'm not perfect. And number two, at my core, I'm a small business owner just like many of you. Now, as to number one, I'll never profess to be perfect, not even close. I also don't hide from my mistakes, and instead I seek to be a fallible person that learns from those mistakes and falls forward. So yes, I made some mistakes early on in my career. Mind you, I was sued for conduct in 2012, which was basically me working out of the garage as a 20-year-old something for a short time. I thought rolling coal was cool. I'm a huge diesel fan, but I am not a fan of intentionally blowing black smoke straight out of the tailpipe or the stacks. I love and care about our environment. I really do. My happy place is out in the wilderness, and I honestly didn't realize that buying a vehicle at an auction, which a lot of times is a mystery bag that was deleted, violated the Clean Air Act. I do care, which is why you guys see us for the last 5 years on YouTube constantly working to make this state and all of the surrounding states a better place by providing nonprofit efforts to pull vehicles and boats and equipment off of public lands and clean up public lands, all the way to recovering deceased loved ones at the top of mountains that nobody else can get to. We care, and we put our money where our mouth is by doing the actual work, instead of going after other people, taking their money, and claiming that we're doing it in the name of the environment. That's the difference, and that's what separates us from UKG. I also had a website called 4x4 Anything that connected to a parts bin of third-party providers, and I didn't even realize we were selling defeat parts on that website. When we were sued, I walked in the front door and admitted we were wrong. I didn't try to hide from it. Not only that, but I immediately took down the offerings of emissions defeat parts from our webpage, even before getting sued. All in all, we sold a total of 164 emissions defeat parts inadvertently before I realized the mistake and removed the listing, and crazy enough, offered the original buyers 200% of their purchase price as a refund if they would send the parts back. And in fact, we got some, but not all of the parts back. I offered to fix countless of emission systems for free to low-income families. I grew up poor. I know the pain a check engine light can inflict to a family that is really just getting by. I figured, let's do some good for our neighbors and our community here in Utah and agree to fix broken emission systems and to educate the general public about air quality. The proposal was outright rejected by the doctors. They didn't even consider it. So much for a win-win-win. The point is, I was trying. As to the second point, I'm still a small business owner. Back then, in 2012, I was in my business diapers. The court found the two main businesses that were sold made $118,000 and $271,000 in profits in total. We had a lot of mouths to feed at the time with $400,000 per year in profit. You can imagine how scary a threat of $114 million was to a small business owner just getting started. At first, the judge ruled primarily in UPHE's favor, but gave them nothing close to the $117 million they asked for. We're grateful the judge considered the mitigating factors, but this was still a lot of money for a small business owner. The judge accepted their claims as if every single truck or park, no matter where it was used, violated Utah law, and the doctors had standing under the Constitution to bring the claims. But we didn't stop there. We appealed to the 10th Circuit Court. And the appellate court, thankfully, took a closer look. They ruled that under the U.S. Constitution, I can only be held liable for trucks or parts that were actually used or operated right here in Utah where the claims were brought against me. That ruling reduced the penalty significantly, which made perfect sense. If something happened out of state, it shouldn't count against a Utah business. But here's where it gets even crazier. Even though the appellate court drastically reduced the scope of the case, the attorney's fees didn't go down at all. In fact, they went up because the appellate court kept parts of the original ruling in place. UPHE's lawyers were still considered the prevailing party, even though they didn't win as much as they originally thought they'd do. And under this specific environmental statute, if they win even 1% of a case, they can demand 100% of their attorney's fees. It's insane. Total.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and you need some kind of form to get going.
Ah, man, you got my grill stuff. Thank you. Meg.
Total federal penalties landed around $550,000, but under their complaint, they could have received $114 million. So the doctors lost 99% of their claims, but still got treated like they won the whole thing. That's how upside down this law is. In normal court, the prevailing party only gets fees based upon what they win. Over the years, I have tried desperately to comply with all of their demands, and their list of demands and paperwork requests and discovery requests and everything they've asked of for me has become a full-time job, not only for me, but for multiple people within my organization. They required a list of every transaction that myself, any of my partners, any of my companies, or anybody affiliated with me had made to anyone for any reason in the amount of $5,000 or more, dating all the way back to 2020. Listen, I don't care how big of a company you are, even Fortune 500 companies don't keep that level of accounting. Now let me explain to you another reason why producing all of this paperwork was not just hard, but damn near impossible. We have had the same in-house accountant here for all of my businesses. Her name was Christy Manwaring, just a beautiful woman. We loved her. She was a part of the family, part of the team for years, and she knew everything about our finances. Like, she handled all of our books, all of our accounting, all of our payroll, everything. Well, unfortunately, in December of 2024, almost a year ago, Christy suddenly died of congestive heart failure. Kind of came out of nowhere and boom, just took her from us. And that wasn't great because obviously she was very special and close to us, but also she had kind of the keys to all of our stuff, all of our books, all of our balance sheets, all of our finances, and they were all on her computer, which none of us had a password to. And unfortunately, the way that she had organized things wasn't as clean as we would have hoped. But the reality was there were certain things that we just couldn't ever get access to. We don't know where she kept them or if she kept them at all. When that happened, Reed basically accused us of withholding information. We're like, no, here, like, come look. And this is why I invited them to come to the office and go through everything with me to see if they had any better ideas. But we provided everything we possibly could. So when the compliance thing kind of became a big issue, meaning they were going to the court and basically accusing us of just ignoring all of their requests and saying that we weren't doing anything to try to like fulfill what they were asking for us, I realized that we had a major problem and there was a major disconnect and breakdown of communication between us, the UPHE, their attorneys, the court, and the judge. So essentially what I did recently to try to resolve that, I invited the UPHE and their attorneys to my shop, to my office, to my home, to my cabin. I invited them here to be able to look through the books with me, look at the vehicles that they had in question, look at the properties, look at everything that they've been asking about for years that I was unable to produce any more documentation on so they could come see for themselves. The reason why I did this was to be totally compliant. I'm still trying to run a business, trying to build a brand, trying to raise a family, trying to take care of my mental, physical, and spiritual health. All of that on top of hours and hours and hours of document production every single week. It becomes impossible, but we have tried our very best, which is what the judge finally started to see this last Thursday. Let me be clear, this has never been about me refusing to comply. Never. We've already made large payments, hundreds of thousands of dollars directly to the US Treasury and the EPA to satisfy the federal portion of the judgment. We have some relatively low penalties outstanding, but for the most part, we've met those obligations. To my knowledge, none of this money has been spent or will ever be spent to improve Utah's air quality. But what's been happening ever since is something completely different. The fight over attorney's fees. The attorney's fees claimed by the doctors ended up being around 300% of the actual penalty. Because once UPHE's lawyers realized the law let them collect unlimited fees, it turned into a blank check. At first we had 2 law firms involved against us. Then it turned into a feeding frenzy of multiple lawyers from 4 different law firms trying to collect on this judgment, all billing their own separate hours and fees. They could keep filing motions, dragging the case out, and tacking on more and more fees. We're up to 522 filings. My lawyer says this is the single largest docket they have ever seen, and it should be because it's going for 9 years. Guys, for years we've been trying to reach a fair settlement, something reasonable that reflects the reality of what happened. They have never shown good faith. In fact, we had court-ordered mediation once, and the doctors didn't make a single offer to settle. But then again, why would they? Every motion they file means more fees they can demand, and every time they file one, they send out another press blitz to the media, and it just turns into this cycle of profit and publicity, with me being the only one to pay for it. Now listen, I gotta give huge credit where it's due to my attorney, Cole Cannon. Cole is a very powerful and very smart attorney, and he's an excellent litigator. What that means is, when you go to trial, and you need somebody to speak on your behalf to the judge, to the court. If there's a jury, he's speaking to them. You need somebody who can articulate very well, who can communicate the message very effectively. And Cole said one of the most powerful lines I've ever heard in my hearing on Thursday. When he said, "Your Honor, Mr. Sparks does more good for the state of Utah in one single weekend than these doctors have done throughout their entire 9-year legal battle against him." And he's right. And I'm not here to toot my own horn. I'm not here to tell you guys that I'm the greatest and the best or that I'm perfect in any capacity. I'm here to tell you that I care about my community. I care about my state. I care about this same environment that we all live in, that I have to raise my kids in. For a long time, it felt like the court just wasn't hearing what we were trying to communicate. Cole's been saying it for years, that the facts were being misrepresented and that we were being unfairly portrayed as non-compliant rednecks who flout the law and don't care about court orders. And finally, in this most recent hearing, the judge saw it all so clearly. Cole asserted and had 40 PowerPoint slides prepared to show UPHE's misdirection to the court. Cole proved that we had provided the documents some 2 or 3 different times throughout this case. Cole, from my jail cell, created in painstaking detail the dates and times the documents were produced, showing the judge our substantial compliance. Worth noting, we also filed proof we had produced these documents with the court several times before this. In fairness, there are 522 entries on the docket, so it's understandable the court might miss them in the shuffle, but the lawyers for the UPHE know better. Cole insisted on calling UPHE's counsel to the stand so he could swear under penalty of perjury anything Cole was saying was false. Guess what? Reed didn't take the stand. Cole proved with evidence that we had not only complied, but gone above and beyond to meet every requirement to the best of our ability. As a show of good faith, we asked UPHE what they thought was outstanding. And even if it wasn't on their previous list or in a court order, we agreed to give it to them. The other side's statements were flat out false. And that revelation changed everything. The judge finally saw it. The courtroom felt it. And for the first time in a long time, the truth was undeniable. Man, I get goosebumps thinking about it because this has been hell. How did I end up in jail? It wasn't for breaking any law. I didn't do anything illegal. Remember, I was thrown in jail on contempt of court charges, which aren't criminal. I didn't break the law, it's not illegal. Contempt of court basically just means that the judge says that you are screwing up the court process, or you're not following and you're not participating the right way, and so he can charge you with contempt, which means that that order is designed to just stop you from doing whatever you're doing that's hurting the court process. And Reed Zars wrote in his request to the judge, he said, hey, if Mr. Sparks doesn't provide me with all these different documents, which I've already provided, if he doesn't get it by this date, then please put a warrant out for his arrest. And the judge was just believing all the stuff that Reed Zars had submitted, and so he's assuming, like, well, this guy really is just blatantly ignoring me, and I can't have that happen, so I'm going to issue an order for his arrest. So as I was in jail, and I was talking with my attorney, Cole, we were trying to figure out what needed to happen for me to be able to get out, because remember, there's no bail, there's no opportunity to pay any sort of fine. The only thing that could have gotten me out of jail is having the judge essentially just remove the contempt, purge the contempt charge, or the attorney, Reed Zars, could have stipulated, basically means he could have agreed with my attorney to email the judge and say, hey, we agree, Mr. Sparks can get out of jail now, and then we'll solve all of this in the next hearing. Well, Cole, obviously, as soon as I got thrown in jail, reached out to Reed and said, hey, this is madness, this has to stop. Please stipulate with me and let's email the judge and tell him that, you know, it's time to let him out. No. And Mr. Zars responded by saying, just know that Mr. Sparks and I were really close to finally having a settlement in place, and if we could just get that settlement done, then we could obviously, you know, agree to letting him out. To me, that basically means extortion. Like, get me paid on my ridiculous amount of attorney's fees, and then I'll tell the judge to let him out of jail. That's wrong. That should never happen. That's insanity. I was taken to jail and spent 2.5 full days in solitary confinement, all over a paperwork dispute in a civil lawsuit. I was held with the worst of the worst. Pedophiles, rapists, murderers, you name it. I was strip searched both upon arrival and after each time I met with my lawyers every single day. That means roughly 3 full cavity searches every single day. Then this last Thursday, the day of my hearing, Cole went in, laid out the truth, showed the proof, invited UKG's lawyers to take the stand, and the judge immediately recognized what had happened. The court was at a loss for words regarding the situation and told everyone, essentially, let's not let this happen again, meaning, I can't believe we're here, and I don't want to see you guys back in my courtroom. That's what vindication looks like. That's what it feels like to finally be seen after years of being misunderstood and misrepresented. Honestly, this case has exposed how broken the system really is. The Clean Air Act's citizen suit provision was designed to hold big corporations accountable, but it's now being used as a weapon against small businesses, mechanics, and even private citizens. Groups like the UPHE have been using this model for years, suing, collecting settlements, and walking away with massive legal fees. And here's the kicker. You ready for this? None of those fees can be directly tied to actually improving Utah's air quality. Not $1 goes toward cleaner air, emissions programs, or environmental projects. To my knowledge, it just gets sent to Washington and subsumed in the bureaucratic web of the EPA and the giant federal budget. Instead, most of the money goes into the pockets of lawyers, including an out-of-state attorney named Reed Zars from Laramie, Wyoming, who's built a career off of these kinds of cases. That's not environmental justice. That's a business, and it's wrong. So, the reason why I'm telling you all this is so that we, all of us collectively, can get together to push for some major reform. The Clean Air Act has to be changed. The way it's written right now allows for 100% of the attorney's fees to be paid out to the attorneys that are coming after you, even if they don't win their full claim against you. Remember, they originally sued us for $114 million, and they only ended up getting like a $500,000 or $600,000 federal penalty judgment, meaning those are the fees we needed to pay to the EPA or wherever. But their attorney's fees that they racked up doing all sorts of crazy stuff, including taking trips all the way down to Meta campus to totally ineffectively try to garnish wages down there, That never changed. They were able to bill us for the full amount. So our proposal is just rewrite that law, change it so that the attorneys who sue you can only get like 25% of the total penalty, rather than just some blank check where they can just go at this forever, and even if they're not very successful, but they still are successful on one or two little things, they can just bill you the full amount. That's insanity. It's allowing for good, innocent, hardworking people to either lose their freedom or lose their livelihood that they've worked so hard for. So this has to change, and it starts with me and you. I want to make this clear. This isn't about hate. It's about accountability, Mr. Zars. I've done everything I can to comply to pay what's fair and to move on with integrity. I tried to fix this before the lawsuit was even filed, and I tried to fix this after the lawsuit was filed. I've offered to host the lawyers for UPHE to sit knee to knee with me in my shop to talk this out. They've declined. And I've invited the lawyers to my shop to inspect anything they wanted to, documents included. Surprise, surprise, they declined. This case should have been over years ago, but instead, it's been dragged out for profit and publicity. Thanks to Cole Cannon's relentless work, the truth finally came to light, and the judge saw it. After years of being misunderstood and misrepresented, we finally got the moment of vindication we deserved, and I got set free out of jail. To everyone who's reached out, family, friends, fans, total strangers, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support through this, honestly, means more than you'll ever know, and I get choked up just thinking about it. This was never about me trying to dodge responsibility. It was about standing up for fairness, truth, and accountability. Not just for myself, but for every small business owner and citizen who could get caught in the same ugly, disgusting, mind-numbing trap. I'm home, I'm good, and I'm more motivated than ever to make sure this story leads to actual change. Because nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, should ever spend 2 days in jail for a civil paperwork dispute. That's not justice. That's bureaucracy run wild. We're going to keep telling this story, and we're going to keep pushing for reform, and we're going to do it the right way. Thank you for listening. And to UPHE, if you're watching, I genuinely hope this experience makes you reflect on what true environmental progress actually looks like. Now in closing, I have a message for you, Mr. Reed Zars, Dr. Brian Monk, and everyone else at UPHE. You crossed a line you can't uncross. You wrongfully stole my freedom and tarnished my good name. And now, I will pursue accountability in every form until this can never happen to anyone else. Because even though I'm vindicated, I'm nowhere near done.
I was today years old when I learned Mars and Shiva are pioneers in reef restoration. Mars makes Shiva, and since 2011 has planted 1.3 million corals across 72 sites, helping fish populations rise more than 900%.
At Boston Lumber, we believe that.
Night, chat.